Hey you guys, so today's video is going to be, I don't even know if I want to call these anti-hauls anymore. It's kind of more like reacting to the new beauty releases that we're seeing. Some of these are much newer than others. Some of them are just kind of trends I'm noticing, but all in all, I just wanted to share my thoughts on what is going on out in these beauty streets. Really quick before we get started, I just wanted to talk super fast about my channel and this kind of anti-consumerism content that I'm so well known for, and kind of a pivot that I am going to be taking in 2021. I will still do this content intermittently, but this ship sailed for me a while ago. I'm just kind of tired of talking about it. I don't really have anything new to add to the conversation, but the good news is you guys tell me all the time that what you enjoy so much about my channel is kind of my perspective on things, my take on things. And I've started a series on my channel called the High Maintenance series. If you guys haven't seen it, I will leave a playlist down below where I really just kind of want to talk to you guys about how to level up in 2021. You know, 2020 was a hard year, not just for me, but for all of us. And I've gone through a lot of tough times in my life, and I've learned so much throughout my journey. And I just kind of wanted to share with you guys some of those things. Also, kind of talking a little bit about how to level up in other ways, physically, emotionally, financially. So really just kind of a journey that I invite you to come with us on. So if you're interested in that, I will leave, like I said, the playlist down below. I think there's about 4 videos in that series right now, and I've got such a good response from it. I just wanted to share that with you in case you do enjoy my content, want to stick around, but like me, kind of feel like the well has run dry with the anti-haul content. Honestly, just because I don't think I have to talk people out of buying makeup in 2021. As I'm going to get into in this video, the trends and kind of what we're seeing happen in the beauty industry due to things like Miss Rona and all that stuff really kind of takes it out of our hands anyway. So I just wanted to share it with you. I hope you guys are having an amazing day as always. Thank you for coming and hanging out today. Check the down bar for links on my social media platforms. Thumbs up the video if you enjoy it. If you're new here, subscribe. You know you want to. If you're not new here, hey, what's up? How's your mom and them? Come hang out with me on Patreon for bonus content, the book club, and live streams. And yeah, let's just get started. So there's like definitely trends happening right now. And I read some trend reports. I read some market reports. I looked at the releases. I got on Hot Fire Makeup. I got on Trend Mood. I got on Sephora. Those are really the places that I tend to gather my intel as far as this is concerned, because I don't follow any beauty account. So I'm not constantly inundated, slowly throughout any given period with releases. I kind of see them all at one time when I sit down to make these videos, and that's kind of what inspires the ones that I choose to talk about. And one of the things I saw a lot of when I was going through and looking at the new releases is that there are so many minis, and this is something we tend to see a lot around Christmas. I mean, don't get me wrong. Companies are always releasing mini size, travel size, trial sizes of their products. And in the past, I've kind of taken a really strong stance against buying them, simply because you tend to see these little minis available at the cash wrap at Sephora. Like our Sephora in Green Hills in Nashville, it's like a maze you walk through to get up to the cash register, and it's just, they're so enticing, right? Because the price point's way lower. Everything in Sephora roughly is going to be $60, $40, $50, $60 and up. So when you get to that cash wrap and you see all these items that are like $20, $25, it just kind of feels like, what's the harm? Throw it in the bag. But overall, you're just paying for samples and you'll end up going back for the full size anyway. I don't know if it's a good move, really. At least that's what I used to think. Now I feel a little differently, and we'll get into why, because I just think that now people are kind of either not replenishing their stash as frequently, or even if they are, might already be drawn to mini sizes and trial sizes because they just don't need as much product. They're not going anywhere now. And I'm wondering if that is why we're seeing so many minis. Like just from my look the other day, I noticed that Charlotte Tilbury has released a mini Hollywood Flawless filter and a mini Airbrush Flawless finish. Now, it could very well be that these companies have always planned on releasing these minis in travel sizes, but like I said, it's a lot. Beauty Bakery has released what they're calling like their mini line. It's their whole vibe. They're launching like smaller palettes, smaller sized blushes, smaller everything. That's like a full-blown extension of their line they're putting out. I noticed that the kind of mini eyeshadow palette is something we're seeing more of. And Natasha Denona, I think, really kind of started that trend where she took these big, super expensive palettes and then put them into smaller 4 or 5 pan littler ones, which I thought was a good idea because overall, when the palettes get too big anyway, it just is repetitive. So to kind of condense it to something that still gives you that color story, but you're not spending $200 on a shit ton of eyeshadow you're never going to wear. I thought that was a good idea, but now we have e.l.f. doing it. They've released a mini palette or two. ColourPop, which we're going to get into as always. There's never going to be an anti-haul video where I don't talk about ColourPop. It's basically impossible. But they're doing the same thing. They look almost identical to Natasha Denona's mini palettes, if you ask me. RMS Beauty has this mini mini lip and cheek glow quad, like just lots of minis out there. And like I said, I know almost all companies do this. They have them, but they were just in the new releases, and it's something I don't really notice very often. So I do wonder if there's a correlation, if you guys have heard or seen anything that suggests that it is a response to the color cosmetics market shifting a little bit due to Roro. Let me know. Let's talk about the giant palettes that we're still seeing, which I just think are so done. Like, there's nothing elegant or special about them anymore. They're just gargantuan and tacky, and they take up your whole damn vanity. Like, I'm done with them and been done with them. But I did notice that Morphe currently has something out. I think it's called like their Bel Air palette. I'll put a picture of it right here. Are we not done with Morphe? We're still doing Morphe? Because I just genuinely feel like that period that they had where, even though a lot of their stuff tends to be the same thing over and over again, I do think people were once upon a time excited about it. And I don't know, maybe I'm projecting, but I don't feel like that's the energy anymore. And I don't know. It's not interesting at all. It's like very 2015 to have these kitchen sink palettes. And speaking of 2015, what's Tarte doing? Because this is like one of the only releases I saw for them. And this screams July 2015 to me so hard I can't even stand it. Like, they are not willing to let this go. This palette is so uninspired. There's nothing that signifies this is different or unique. I mean, I don't think Tarte is well renowned for kind of really interesting color stories or anything like that. But I don't know. I've been saying it for a while. I think Shape Tape is keeping the lights on over at Tarte, because even this cheeky Claymate face palette, like, what is this? Are we better than this in 2021? I don't know. I was just really surprised. And again, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that so much of what we're seeing come out with these companies is just, we got to put something out. We're not willing to invest a lot of money in color cosmetics right now because we don't know if people's buying it. Like, I get all that, but to me, it's like maybe go to the drawing board and come up with something else. And speaking of going to the drawing board and coming up with something else, the only release that I saw from Makeup Forever, and if memory serves, one of the only releases I have seen from Makeup Forever in a while, is their primers. Like, they're relaunching their primers again, and they just did this in 16, 17. It wasn't even that long ago. So I'm really surprised to see them releasing these again or pushing these again. I don't know. I don't have a lot of high hopes for color cosmetics for the most part. I don't think that's what we're going to see a lot of this year. I will get more into that later, but just a lot of minis and a lot of the same shit, different toilet. I wasn't too blown away with a lot of this stuff. But one of the things that I don't know if I like this trend or if I think it's good or bad objectively, but one of the trends I do think is interesting is this kind of like clear makeup movement we're seeing right now. My voice goes higher whenever I don't know what to say. But yeah, this kind of clear makeup where we're seeing like a lot of balms and lip oils and things like that, which is cool. And I can see what the plan is, but it's a lot of clear makeup out there right now. And it reminds me a lot of 1997, 1998. I was about 11 or 12 at that time. And there was a lot of clear lip gloss on the market. A lot of clear beauty was very minimal. You know, you might have a little bit of something going on, but people weren't wearing false lashes and cut creases and contoured. Like everything was very fresh face, and we're seeing that coming back in our fashion. I'm loving the fashion and everything. It's such a shame because like I have nowhere to go, so it's really difficult for me to want to buy clothes right now, but there's so many cute clothes coming out, and it's very 70s and very late 90s, which took a lot of inspiration from the 70s, so that kind of makes sense. But anyway, we're just seeing a lot of products that are kind of a throwback to that. I feel like we saw the beginning of this with the Becca Zero line. We were all laughing when that came. I know I was laughing when that came out last year. It was so random, but they definitely were onto something. They either knew what was coming or everyone just started copying them because there's so much of this out right now. Like one of the first things that I saw that I thought was a really good example of the clear makeup trend is Anastasia's new line, which I don't know how I feel about this because I'm proud of Anastasia on the one hand for trying something new. There's a very, very Insta-glam aesthetic that they have really, in the past at least, been able to, make a lot of money off of. So to go to this kind of clear route is a step in the right direction for them. But unfortunately, I do think that these are ripoffs of other brands. Like they have a universal highlighter that's not exactly like Fenty Diamond Bomb, but yeah. They also have a brow wax similar to the Patrick Ta brow wax that came out last year. So I'm happy to see them doing something different, I guess, but I feel like lately, I would say within the past year, 18 months, they've just been ripping other people off, and this is a good example of it. And then in the same launch, they have clear lip gloss. Kylie Jenner released a clear lip oil. Lip oils in general, I saw a lot of, and we started seeing a lot of these last year, but it seems like everybody got a lip oil. I don't own any lip oils right now. Could you guys tell me if they're worth investing in? Because lip oils, really light lip treatments, hydrating, nourishing lip treatments, things like that are going to be really popular this year because people are not investing, certainly not in liquid lips or a whole lot of heavy lip makeup because hello, it's covered up all the time. So lip oils, lip treatments, things like that are going to be huge. We're seeing a lot of those right now, and I just don't know if I should get one. Will you guys tell me if I should? I'll take your word for it. And then we also have, like I was saying, the balms that are coming out right now. Gucci has an all over face and lip gloss. We have Tower Beauty has a highlighting balm. Kopari has a eye balm. Wander Beauty has a lip and cheek tint, cheek and lip tint, which isn't, I mean, they're not clear. Like even the Kopari isn't totally clear. Some of them have touches of color, but it's just this dewy, glowy, like kind of slick skin salve kind of makeup. Makeup by Mario is doing it with the Secret Glow highlighter. Patrick Ta has the Major Glow face gloss. So we're just going to be seeing that. Like the days of the heavy contour, the thick baking, it's just genuinely uncomfortable to wear under a mask as it is. But on top of that, we're just really going to see that shift. I mean, I always talk about how when it comes to beauty, when it comes to makeup, when it comes to literally anything in the world, you will always see the pendulum swing the other way. It always does. So where we saw basically the celebration of playing with tons of makeup and piling it on for the past couple years, that is going away. And I think these trends that are popping up right now are really good examples of that. So I like to see it. I'm not going to lie. Even though the makeup I have on right now would suggest otherwise, just take my word for it. Some celebrity lines that came out. We had Halsey drop a line, and I don't know, man. It just kind of feels like y'all late to the party. I just cannot believe more celebrities were not trying to get in on this back in like 2015. That to me, 2015, 2016 to me felt like peak, like what we will look back fondly years from now is like peak beauty influencer culture. That is like when this really reached a fever pitch. That's when we were seeing all the brand trips, and it makes a lot more sense to me to have gotten into it back then. I think Rihanna came in at the perfect time. I think Selena Gomez actually did a way better job than I anticipated her doing with her line, but everybody ain't gonna be able to have a line like that. Like you're really gonna have to find your niche, and I don't know if You know, Halsey as an artist has her own really cool aesthetic. She has a really distinct audience and a very distinct vibe, and she might be able to capitalize off that in the short term. I'm not seeing anything terribly wrong with this line. Like, it looks like her, it looks like her demographic, but do I think it's going to be here in like 2, 3, 4, 5 years? I'm not positive, but this makeup bag is really cute. I will give her that. That thing is cool as hell. I want it. And then we also had Marilyn Monroe X Glam Glow. Like, listen, I have so many thoughts about this. First of all, if you don't know this about me, and not to be a gatekeeper about it, I am a big old Hollywood movie buff. I literally have been since I was very, very young. And I'm so excited because my daughter, who is 15, is now taking an interest in it. And we watched a few all Marilyn Monroe movies so far because, I don't know, I feel like there's something in them for everybody. And she's getting into it now too. So it's not that I don't see where there is a target audience here. There's always going to be Marilyn Monroe fans, but I really want to know who's getting paid off of Marilyn's image at this point, because she didn't have any children. She didn't have really any family to speak of. So I just really want to know who gets the Marilyn estate, like who's getting paid off of this. And that would really determine whether I would ever buy any more Marilyn merch at all, because that's what this is. This is merch. You know, Glam Glow is hoping that they're going to get people who love Marilyn Monroe to buy this. You know, this isn't a brand new product for them. This is just a rebranded Gravity Mud, which is a product of theirs I have enjoyed in the past. But speaking of Glam Glow in general, I do have to say they've kind of fallen off a little bit for me too. Like, at one time, every time Glam Glow released anything, it was just so exciting because they released face masks. And if I'm going to spoil all the secrets, for me, if I could start my own line, that's what I would do. I would do face masks. But I don't think they're keeping up. Like, I would have imagined they would have released a lot more sheet masks or sleeping masks, or found more ways to kind of take that in other directions, because skintertainment is so big right now, and I don't feel like they're really rising to the occasion. In my opinion, slapping Marilyn Monroe on something is just not the most inventive thing in the world. But speaking of slapping something sacred onto a makeup product, I don't even want to talk about this because I was so morally offended. I guess HipDot, who I don't even know who this is, HipDot did a collab with My Chemical Romance. And I just want you guys to know, I know every single lyric to the first 3 My Chemical Romance songs. I love My Chemical Romance. In fact, when they announced they were going back on tour right before the world shut down, I was just over. I was like, I don't care where they play. I don't care what I have to do. I am seeing them play. Like, I still bump their albums all the time. And I was not excited about this. I was offended by it because it's ugly. It's ugly in every sense of the word. And Gerard Way used to, I don't know if he does anymore, did wear like eye makeup. So I'm not saying it doesn't track at all. And that whole emo vibe had a very, trust me, I was there, had a very particular thing going for it. But I don't get that from this. This just is something that looks like they took like some bargain Hot Topic chalky palette and slap My Chemical Romance on it. I am not impressed. It doesn't really matter what I think though, because I believe this sold out. It's just, you guys know how I feel about merch makeup, which we're going to get more into in a minute, but I just kind of had this moment where I was like, is nothing sacred? Is there nothing we will not attach a friggin' makeup collab to? And then the last celebrity makeup launch that I saw worth noting was Jennifer Lopez's new line, which there's so many mixed opinions about. And I've said this before, like, where I think a lot of people were not excited about Kim Kardashian's line when it came out. And trust me, I wasn't either. And it took me a long time to buy anything. And I bought one lip liner. It's the only thing I've ever bought still to this day. It made sense to me why she would have a makeup line, because that is just her shit, man. And not no one, but the general population had never heard of contouring and highlighting until Kim Kardashian and Mario Dodimovic. That's just period dot astronaut. It similarly makes sense to me that Jennifer Lopez would have a line, and it makes sense to me that Jennifer Lopez would have these exact types of products, because that is what she is famous for. Like, I'm not saying she's not talented in any capacity, but most of the time we talk about Jennifer Lopez, we're just like, holy shit, she's beautiful, she looks amazing. So it makes all the sense in the world that she would be capitalizing off of her image in that way. I'm just, again, it feels a little late, I'm feeling like these products make sense for her, but there's so many like this that I don't know. Like, I feel like Patrick Ta has this whole glowy thing cornered. Like, you better come correct if you're going to try to release stuff like this, because he is killing it. And I feel like all his products are so innovative in that respect. The only thing that calls to me are these sheet masks. I don't know why. I am interested in them. But I do not appreciate, honestly, I don't appreciate Jennifer Lopez lying to us, girl. Like, I don't believe you. I do not believe that olive oil is the reason you look the way that you look. I know she's stingy as hell with the details, because there's been many times where I've tried to like Google Jennifer Lopez's beauty routine, and what I have found her talk about is just, I drink lots of water and eat salmon. And I'm like, maybe you're telling the truth, girl. Maybe you are a freak of nature and you just get to look that way. Maybe. But I don't believe you, and I'm tired of you just lying to me. Just tell me what the secrets are. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to buy anything from JLo's Beauty line. Have you guys tried anything? What do you think? I am interested in knowing. Next is an odd trend that, it's not really a trend. We see this all the time, but it just feels like it's kind of culminating right now, which is video game makeup. We had the MAC and Sims collab, which was just, MAC, where have we gone so wrong? Like, you guys were literally the only, I guess that's what happens. They were the only name in town for such a long time. And that can make you the top of your field in and of itself if you're the only name in town. But if you can't keep up with the new kids, like, you're gonna kind of lose it. And I think that's what happened. The magic is gone. The collections, I think it's been a long time since I've even seen a MAC collection like kind of grab headlines. I think the Mariah Carey one was the last one I saw personally that I was like, okay, yeah, I might be into something like that. But The Sims, like, my thing with this, and this is true with even the Animal Crossing one we're about to talk about and the OG Nintendo one we're going to talk about, I'm just trying to figure out what the plan is here. So it just kind of seems like what you're hoping is going to happen as a makeup line is that, are you trying to promote this makeup brand or the game? Like, are you hoping that you have a makeup brand and you're hoping that you just so happen to already have fans of your line who also happen to be huge fans of Animal Crossing? Or are you hoping that your line is going to introduce Animal Crossing fans to makeup, and then what's your plan after that? Like, are you just going to keep releasing? I don't know who this is for. I actually sent the picture of the Animal Crossing collection to my daughter. Again, she's 15. She loves Animal Crossing. She's obsessed. And I was like, what do you think about this? You know, she's like, it's so cool. And I was like, send it to your friends and see what they think about it. They thought it was so cool. And I was like, can you ask them, would they wear this or would they collect it? And it was like 50-50 down the middle. So maybe I should just stop putting ColourPop, who by the way, just scrolling through Hotfire makeup, who I believe is on the take from ColourPop. You'll never convince me otherwise, because it feels like every other post they have is ColourPop. Not only because they got to be getting something out of it, I just don't believe they're not, but also because ColourPop releases literally like 6 collections a month. It's insane to me. I'm always going to think it's tacky and lame. I know people love it. Don't come for me, or do. I don't care. And then I had 2 devices I wanted to talk about. One because I want to recommend one, perhaps, and another because I have a question. So this is a Dry Bar single shot blow dryer brush for $150. I reviewed and talked about the Revlon hair dryer brush, whatever, I think back in November, and I told you guys that it was like one of the best investments, if you will, that I've ever made in my beauty routine. And I made a comment in that video that I was wondering, you know, are the more expensive ones better for some reason? Because my Revlon one was like $50 and this one's $150. And I just would really like someone to tell me what the difference is. I know they're going to say something like, it's ions and ceramic and da 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 da. Like, they're going to come up with something. I know they are, but I'm so interested all the time, all the time. And when the beauty trends go down and then up. In other words, you tend to see beauty trends and things like that start at the top level of like price point, and then they'll trickle their way down. In this case, it seems like Revlon kind of started something great with these hot brushes, and now we're seeing it trickle its way up. And I'm wondering if they're seeing the ROI the same way you see it when it goes the other way. So in other words, you know, if Huda Beauty at the $45, $50 price range releases a palette, we'll see X amount of units get sold, and then Makeup Revolution inevitably will rip it off. And then you'll probably see even more units get sold in that capacity because it's cheaper and it looks the same, and that's what people ultimately care about. I just wonder if you're able to get people to pay only $50 for something and it works fine and everybody loves it, but then you come in and charge 3 times as much and then it still sell as well. Like, I'm more curious about this than anything. But the other device I wanted to talk about is kind of the opposite of this problem. This is the Mount Lai Jade Tension Melting Massager for face and neck. I'm just giving you guys a PSA really quick. I have this guy. You guys have heard me talk about it before. It's the Refa Carrot. I've had this for like 2 years and it was expensive as hell. It was like $275, $300. I went through a period of time where I used it all the time, but I use it a lot more now to rub out tension in my face. I have this really bad clenching habit, like where I'm trying so hard to stop doing it, but I will clench my jaw for days, honestly, before I even realize I'm doing it. And by the time I realize I'm doing it, I am in excruciating pain. And this thing does such a good job of helping me work it out. Like, I'll just sit there and watch TV sometimes and rub my jaw out for like an hour, hour and a half, and it helps so much. You guys don't even understand. And I saw this, and obviously I cannot tell you with absolute certainty that this one, which retails for $72, will do exactly what this one does as well as it does it. But if there's a snow cone's chance in hell that it does work halfway decent, I would pick this up. If you suffer with facial tension and things like that, definitely grab this guy. Test it out. You guys help each other out in the down bar and let me know if you've had this and you tried this, because like I said, I suffer with this and I know how much, like, if I lost this thing, I guess it's good to know there's a cheaper alternative to kind of give me the same effect. But this is a must-have for me now, outside of the aesthetics it brings, like the positives on that end, but also because, like, it truly does help my life, because my face hurts, girl. All right, guys, it's the end of the video. I actually had a few more things to talk about, but this video is getting long, and I'm trying really hard to make my videos shorter. I wish I could be one of those people who made videos that were like 18 minutes long, full stop, but I just can't do it. I talk too much. So anyway, as always, thank you to the patrons. We just had a unedited early access video go up over there. I did a shower/hygiene favorites video on my channel, which I'll link down below if you missed it, but I did an extended cut on Patreon. We have a live stream coming up on Saturday the 23rd, and then the book club meeting where we will discuss Atomic Habits will be the following Saturday, and you will see more content coming out around that on Instagram and on Patreon if you're already there, because I just wanted to give people a time to get started reading it before I started like spoiling it, I guess, and really talking openly about it. But you'll see some content about that coming as well if you're interested. So to answer the question I keep getting asked, you do not have to be in Patreon to join the book club, but the book club meeting is on Patreon. We'll still talk about it. I'll still have content about it on Instagram. Come follow me over there. But yeah, it's up to you, obviously. Come hang out if you want to. We would love to have you. But yeah, hope you guys are having an amazing day. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. And I will catch you in the next one.